Okay, here we go.
So the question today is, do you want to build your social media platform and your brand for little or no money? Diana, welcome to Reality Coaching for Writers, where we offer, what do we offer?
No fluff, just the real stuff to help you succeed.
Exactly, right. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about, we've done this before in the past, but we're going to kind of delve into specifics about how to build your platform by writing on other websites and other for other outlets in the publication world that can point back to what you're doing and get your name and get you some exposure out there. And you've got a little bit of thought about doing this because you've been the managing editor for Inspire Fire for a while now, and so you've had an opportunity to work with authors who started writing for that website, that outlet. And why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about that experience?
Well, Inspire Fire is a author managed site. And what that means is they have to have an understanding of the way WordPress works, and they will post and schedule their articles to go up under 4 categories. We have the category Start a Conversation, Inspiration, Christian Living, and what's the other one? Encouragement, I think it is. And so you can write an article under any of those headings. And what you're doing is you're coming alongside your reader and just offering them something you've learned from your own life experience. And then you post it, and we have a schedule, and it goes live on our website and on our Facebook page. And it gives you an opportunity to share it on your social media posts. And in your bio, it also gives you additional publishing credit, which, helps publishers see that you're serious about writing and that you're looking for all open doors. And that means a lot to a publisher. They want to know that you have an understanding of the business, and you realize that sometimes you start from the ground up and you build your business. And writing's a business.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yeah, I've often thought about doing this because years ago I used to write for Christian broadcast, CBN, their Christian Broadcasting Network, doing devotionals, and it was a good platform. You had to stick to their formula, just like we, the Inspire Fire, you have to stick to the same format that they have.
Right.
But for CBN, when I was working with Beth Patch, when my devotions would go up, I'd get a ton of hits to the devotion, and it was good exposure. You get your name out there. So it is kind of.
Did you get to put your books in your bio, like?
Yeah, I mean, I was pointing back to my website, which website had the books on it, and so it's good exposure. Again, you're not getting paid for this, but in this market and in what we're doing now, people are paying to have your Facebook post found, right? And so you're spending money. You're not even getting paid. You're actually having to spend money for people to read what you're writing, which is getting pretty crazy, right? And so the way I've looked at Inspire Fire and the other websites, other outlets, other publications like that, is if I'm going to write something for my own blog, and I think it's worthy of Inspire Fire, I'll post it on Inspire Fire because they're going to get 8,000 impressions, for that one post, right? And I might get 30 on my own website. So between the two of them, which is better exposure, right?
Right. And once it's on Inspire Fire, Eddie, what would the rule be about using it later on your blog?
Oh, I think, I mean, that's one of the things we don't hold, Inspire Fire. I know we don't at Christian Devotions, we don't hold the rights, retain the rights of anything. So usually, I know when we were doing Christian Devotions, it was, maybe don't repost it within 3 to 6 months after it's been live on Christian Devotion ministry sites. But after that, it's a way of building a book. And it's really a great way to start testing a concept, a theme, something you're passionate about. Because if you get a lot of replies from, a lot of comments coming in, you go, hey, that resonates.
Exactly.
Book. Yeah, I like the one theme heading that you've got there. What'd you call it? Start a conversation. Is that?
Yes, start a conversation.
Yeah, I was smiling because I was thinking, let's not start an argument. Let's start a conversation, right? Because that seems to be an awful lot of what goes on in the rest of the world, with everybody wants to argue about something, and that's that's not really what's going to draw eyeballs to a website. The conflict is good. People like conflict. I see it all the time in my data feed. It's always these controversial feeds. But if you're trying to uplift and encourage somebody, you want a conversation. You don't want to judge. You want a conversation.
Right. And I'm going to throw this out to you, Eddie, just to get your feedback. But I was thinking of a way that believers could respond positively to the idea that this is Pride Month. And I was going to post on my social media, but I'm still praying about it. Hey, it's Pride Month. What are you proud of? What have you been proud of in your past, and what are you proud of that you're accomplishing right now? And I thought it's another way of looking at where we're at, but putting a positive spin on it by, starting a conversation about things we're just generally proud of,
Yeah.
and that have gone well in our own lives, instead of just, whatever, having an opinion about certain things. How can we just slant that a little bit and just start a conversation that's healthy and generous and kind and loving, that is off topic, but yet, talking about the buzzwords.
Right. I would run with something like that, because I would have come at it from the position of I'm not proud of anything, or at least I'm not trying to be proud of anything, because pride goes before the fall, and I don't want to trip and stumble and fall down. So I'm not going to take credit for anything. We were talking about this last night at the Bibles, at our study down at Moore Square, is that, Jesus makes a comment in John, I think it's chapter 6. He says, nobody comes to me unless the Father has enabled them to come. And I told him, I was like, so I can't be proud of anything I've done in the name of Christ, because if it wasn't for the Father, I wouldn't even be here with teaching a Bible study. So we can't take pride in anything, really. But so I would come at it from that perspective. That'd be a good one.
Well,
that'd be a good.
And one thing, I've been hanging out with a lot of Celebrate Recovery people, and just finding them so honest and transparent, and their walk with God so real. They know that every day they're dependent on Christ to get them through the day. And so I was thinking, we celebrate them. We celebrate someone who's been sober for 2 months. We celebrate someone who's been sober for 2 years or 1 week. And I thought, well, somebody might be able to say, well, I'm proud that I've been sober with God's help. Every one of those people always give God the glory that what they have accomplished and their success is that. But back to our topic.
Yeah. So I was looking at some of the topics, on Inspire Fire, some of the things, and this is I'm just throwing this out, for the listeners to consider what topics resonate, right?
Yeah.
So because we've got titles for all the articles that get posted, and here are still some that keep popping up. What is Jesus's phone number in 2023? So apparently that's a big one. How to write tracts for evangelism. Karen Friday gets a lot of traction. Karen Friday her articles get a lot of traction. Money can solve problems easily. How money can solve problems, and still this one still keeps coming up. Moses' arms held up. So apparently people are still searching for how Moses held his arms up during that whole time during the battle. And I throw this out there because we like to think, I guess we think sometimes we need to have a new topic, a new article, a new take on something. But it turns out a lot of the stuff that people like to research and get information on are the same stories and passages we already know. So if you just got a different take on it, that's a good article. It could be a good article.
Right. Yeah.
So Inspire Fire is a little bit different than some sites because you're the managing editor, but you're not really editing the articles. You're just managing it and making sure that everything gets posted and up and running, which is different than some sites, which you have to actually go through an editing process. So why don't you explain a little bit the difference between Inspire Fire and, like, for example, Christian Devotions Ministry or CBN or some of the other sites where you have an actual content editor that's pointed behind you.
Well, so on Inspire Fire, I act as the editor, meaning you post your article. The ideal is 1 week prior to you schedule it, post it prior 1 week. And several of them are really great about just texting me or emailing me and saying, hey, Diana, my post is up and it's ready for your review. And then I can look at it and I can suggest some massaging, a little bit, and just suggest a different, a sentence structure, maybe for a paragraph or so. And then it gives us a chance to polish it up. And then we just update the edits that we've made. And we get it scheduled and ready to go. One of the other things that's really nice is people can use their own photography. We encourage 3 photos in the body of the article and 1 photo for the featured article that will show it. A photo shows as the heading of the article on our website, and we're on our Facebook page. So altogether, that would be 4 photographs. So you also have the opportunity to use your own photographs. Like one of our contributors is an amateur photographer, and he recently wrote a post about reflection. And he used some of his, and reflecting God in our lives. And he used some of his photographs, beautiful photographs that he has taken that show, water reflecting the exact image above it, and how this is to be the way we reflect Christ. It was a great word analogy and a really powerful point that he brought by using his own photography and uploading those.
Yeah, so that's good. So Inspire Fire gives people a little more freedom and liberty to do with their creativity than what they maybe some others. Because I know, like I said, I know if you're writing for other daily devotions and articles, you do have to kind of stay within their format, and they're going to pick the images and drop them in.
Right. We have even had some free-form poetry writing that they do and post, and we've gotten good traction with it. It's gotten a good response.
Yeah, that's a good one to bring up, because I know when we were at writers conferences, we would often sit down with people and they go, "I write poetry. What do I do with it?" We would go, "I don't know. Turn it into music. Sell it to a country and western artist who's going to make you famous." I don't know. What do you do with poetry? Because it generally doesn't sell well.
Right.
But if you're a poet, you're a poet. I mean, you can't do anything about that, right? This is who you are, and this is what you write. So this is Inspire Fire as an outlet for that as well.
Yes. And so you do have that freedom. It's just that, we like them to communicate with us. And also, like you said, there's no monetary compensation. But recently, one of our contributors actually was awarded a SELA award for one of the articles that she had published on Inspire Fire. So it is something that does get the attention of other people within the industry, and it is valuable to help with platform building.
Yeah. And that's I guess we'll kind of close with that. That's part of the reason Inspire Fire is out there, is because we want to encourage writers to write, and we want to help them get found and advance their career. And this is a way that the ministry, we can do this without having to invest a lot of money. It's not like we're printing magazines and distributing and all
Right.
that. So this is everything's done online. So it's a way of actually ministering to writers and doing it in such a way that we don't have to invest a lot. They have to invest their time, but they're not spending a ton of their own money. Right. So
Right.
it's kind of a win-win. And to your point, if you write for Inspire Fire, and I'll just make this, kind of claim, if you write for Inspire Fire, christiandevotions.us, or even devokids.com, that's the foundation for the next publication, the next larger website to look and go, okay, where you're committed to writing, you are a writer, and they may pick you up for, again, Christian Broadcasting Network or Guidepost, Daily
Right.
Bread, one of the other ones, and go, well, you know what you're doing. I like your writing. Would you write for us? So it's a platform building. It's not just platform, it's platform building.
Right, exactly. And, just like our friend John Riddle, teaches article writing. We call these articles because they are more than just a devotion on Inspire Fire. They are actually where you can talk about travel. You could talk about, disabilities. You can talk about issues as well, but by offering hope and encouragement through life experience. So these articles would also springboard you to magazines, Family Circle, Women's Day, Outdoor Life, and we like to encourage and remind our writers that there's, to take it to the next level is always a great opportunity because you're honing your skills on this platform, but it will springboard you to other levels.
Right. Yeah, so I'll close with this. I was looking at the last 7 days, the top search queries that have popped up because we talked about earlier about the pride thing. Humble quotes is the top one. We got 265 hits for humble quotes. So apparently right now, humble quotes and be humble quotes, the be humble quotes was 234. So that's almost 500 searches for people that are on the web looking for quotes about humility, which I think is pretty encouraging.
That is. Yeah.
Jesus calls us to be humble, right? Walk humbly before your Lord. And so it kind of, if you write in a humble vein and you have humble quotes, you may get found on Inspire Fire. Well, listen, next week we've got a special guest coming in. So why don't you do real quick, kind of do an intro for who we have, a teaser for next week.
So we're going to have one of our contributors on Inspire Fire, Maureen Miller, is going to be with us. And Maureen has been writing for Inspire Fire, but she's also writing on other platforms. And we're going to talk to her about her writing journey. She just was at the Blue Ridge Mountain Christian Writers Conference and was up for an award. So there's all kinds of good things happening with Maureen, and she's just going to share her writing journey with us next week.
Yeah, that's good. Because again, that's part of what we do with reality coaching for writers. We work with writers, we encourage writers, and occasionally we get to feature writers on our show.
Right.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you for joining us this week, Diana. And have you got any closing comments about platform building for writing for other websites you want to throw out there?
Well, just remember that if you're interested in writing for Inspire Fire, then, contact Eddie or I. We keep our contact information in the description box on our YouTube channel. And also check out Writers Market Guide and Christian Writers Market Guide for other places that you can submit your articles to.
Yeah, and I would close with, if you ever stumble or fall over an article or paragraph or anything, brainstorm. If you want to brainstorm, reach out to either Diana and I. This is what we do. This is, you can look at us and tell we've done this long enough now that we are willing and eager to help others. So just reach out and ask us questions. We'll help. We will. Well, thank you, Diana. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. Have a great